Okay, so this is going to be part 3 of my EDGAR API series. So in this video we're going to be going over the facts endpoint. So the facts is just a collection of all the company concepts. Each concept is a taxonomy and a tag. And then all the dates for every filing. So as we can see here, these are examples of the facts and the taxonomies. So you can see gross profit, it just gives us US GAAP, gross profit. What you're going to see in the facts is this. So if we go to another one like SG&A, you'll get this part, and then you'll get all the details for it as well. Let's see if I can find anybody here. But okay, yeah. So let's get into it. If we go over to VS Code here, I'm gonna copy and paste it this time. I noticed when I was typing last time, I wasn't explaining it very well, so I'm gonna try and talk about it a little bit more. So we're gonna import pandas first. We're also gonna import requests. As you can see on the right here, these are just the functions we created last 2 videos. So we're gonna import those as well. Alright, should be everything we need. Oh, the headers. Alright. So to start, we're just gonna return the facts JSON. So this function right here. So what this function does is it gets the ticker, or it takes the ticker, gets the CIK, and then it takes the CIK and accesses this API endpoint. So it just plugs in the CIK for whatever company you're interested in and gives you all the facts in a JSON format. Then this next function is where it gets a little complicated. This creates a data frame for our facts from the JSON. So here, I'll just run this. So as you can see, it's going to be pretty hefty file. It's not super human readable now, but if we go to the keys, I'll just set this. So all the keys, it just gives you the CIK, entity name, and then the facts. So if we go into the facts, you'll see we get DEI and then US GAAP. So all the DEI facts are like shares outstanding. I could just show you actually. It's just basically all the descriptive facts. So just, yeah, float and shares outstanding. There are some more for other companies, but it's really, I don't use it at all. I just use the US GAAP one mostly. So this is where it gets pretty in depth. It gives you every single fact from every single balance sheet that's included in the submission data right here. I guess right here. Actually, no. It's not just the 10Ks and 10Qs. It's all of the filings. And yeah, that's kind of why we need a function like this. So first, gets the facts, takes the facts, accesses it through the US GAAP part. So you can see here, same thing. Just takes this, and it goes through every fact, and then the detail for the fact. So I'll show you that real quick. So if we just take accounts payable current, we can see we get a label, description, and then unit for each. So that's the details right here. And we're going in the units. So if we go show you that. So for some it's going to be shares, for some it's going to be pure, which is just like, I think EPS has that, but it's just basically the units it's in. It doesn't really matter for us. We're not going to really look at it. But it's just there if you need it. I don't think I save it anywhere in my function. But so if we go in again, USD. Oh, it doesn't have keys. Okay, so if we just go in USD, we can see that it gives us all filing points that use accounts payable current. So it goes all the way back to I guess 2023 to, I assume it's 2010, 2009. So that would be the first, and then it just goes on quarterly by quarterly. And then sometimes there would be double entries from like an 8K or other documents. But that right there is the same as the concept. So if you were to access the concept endpoint, it would give you, well, I guess there you are right there. It would give you that same, this response right here, because we're just accessing one concept in the facts full JSON. So, okay, moving on. I don't know why. Okay. So once we're in there, it appends this to the data frame data list we made. So we're going to take every single concept and put it into a list. And it makes a data frame from that list. And it sets date times to the start and end columns, and then drops duplicates that have the same fact and value. This just gets rid of all the double entries like I was talking about earlier. And then we're going to set the index to the end, because that's when the financial period ends. And it just makes it easy. What else? Okay, so it creates a label dictionary. So as you can see, if we go over back to here, it has selling general administrative expense right here. And then it has the US GAAP title right here. So all this does is creates a dictionary mapping these two, so that you can rename the data frame after you're done. So we can just run this. Then here we get I need a ticker. So, I forgot to set the label dictionary. As you can see, it runs pretty quickly. So this is just the raw output from the facts, with all the facts just lined up. I don't have it grouped by anything, so that's where the next function kind of comes in. Yeah, so the next function, we're going to separate this out into annual and quarterly facts. I have two different functions for that. You can probably combine them into two. I just haven't yet. It's just a little easier. So yeah, I'm going to paste in this. So this one, okay, so this one takes the accession numbers from our get filtered filings function. So last time we made this, and it just gets all the accession numbers for 10Ks and 10Qs. When 10K is set to false, it gives you the 10Qs. And then creates a data frame and a label dictionary for the facts data frame function that we created up here. And then it makes sure that it filters out all the data that we want from that original data frame and creates a new data frame called 10K. and it only has accession numbers that are in the 10K filings. And then it further filters that by taking all the 10K filings that have the same end date. So that end date is the index of the accession number series, and it's the index for the data frame that we create here. It then takes that data frame and creates a pivot table from that. So the values are going to be the val, which is the number for each fact. So if we go over here, so this would be just the val. And then the columns are the fact, so that's going to be this right here. And then the index is the end, which is just the end date of the filing. So whenever the financial period ends that the filing is looking at. And then it just renames the columns using the label dictionary. And then you can just delete this line if you don't want it renamed, and you just want it as the gap name versus the kind of more human readable name. And then it returns that with the val or the index or the columns as the index. It was easier for me just to rename the columns rather than the index. I'm sure it's just as easy, but I did it this way. So if we run that, oh, yikes. Okay, so this, as you can see, goes from 2013 to 2011, and then it's pretty much everything we need. So if we just go to Jupyter, I guess I have to set it as a variable. So you can see it runs pretty quick. It's around a second to get all the facts, which is, I'd say, pretty reasonable. But yeah, so this is everything. So every single detail that's in any filing, it just, as you can see, some of the taxonomy changes. So that's why some things are not a number or there's no given value. So say this, cash flow hedges, derivative instrument, assets at fair value. There are only certain assets considered that during this year, so then there's not a number for the rest of them. But dividends per share, you can see is right here. And then common stock, pretty much, yeah, anything you need right here. So you can just take this, export it as a CSV, and then plug it into whatever Excel file you're using. Then you have every detail for a company. It's super useful. You don't really have to use like going back and forth through windows. You can just set things equal to like the accounting title that they're using, and it auto populates your models. It's really nice to have, actually. But yeah, enough of that. We'll create a quarterly function as well. So this one's pretty much the same thing, just a little different. Okay. So yeah, pretty much the same thing, except it has 10K equals false, creates the same data frame, is in accession numbers, and then the index is in there, and it drops all the duplicates with the same fact, the same end date, and then creates a pivot table, renames them, and then returns the pivot table. So then forgot to run it. I forgot to put a ticker. Alright, so quarterly. as you can see, it's the same thing, just all the way from 2010 to 2013. But be careful, there's no fourth quarters, since the fourth quarter is in the 10K. So you're gonna have to do some math for that. I figured out how to do it for the concepts, I just haven't applied it here yet. Okay, so to get these out and into CSV format, I just wrote a simple function for that. So as you can see, I'll just paste it in here, you can pause. We need to import OS. I don't know why it glitches like that. Okay, so this function, all it does, you put in your data frame, folder name, the ticker, statement name, frequency. It creates a directory for whatever folder name and ticker. So say I named the folder facts and the ticker was Williams Sonoma, it would just do facts, and then inside it would Williams Sonoma. If you keep the folder name the same, it'll just have all the tickers with all the different facts. It's pretty simple. And then it just puts the statement name and the frequency. So this would just be facts and then annual or quarterly, whatever. And then converts the data frame to a CSV and then doesn't return anything. So you'll be able to take that CSV, import it into Excel, Numbers, Google Sheets, whatever you use. And then you should be able to use all the data, or even use it with models on Python as well. Yeah, that should be it. I'll put everything into the EDGAR functions, just so you have it. But yeah, this is probably the most useful thing that you can do with the EDGAR-API. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you have any suggestions or recommendations or better ways of doing things, let me know. I kind of taught myself programming, so I know some things are not perfect, but it works. So yeah, let me know. Thank you.